They say I'm obsessed, that sim racing courses through my veins. They say I'm consumed, that I chase my goals with relentless fire. They say I'm unreasonable, that pushing the limit is my only desire. But I heed to a different call. The roaring of a virtual engine, the whisper of perfect force. Passion isn't a price tag. Passion is felt in every detail. The barrier is broken. The threshold of direct drive realism is here for every driver. Driven by passion, powered by PXN. New gen direct drive is now. Discover the PXN VD series. They say I'm obsessed, that sim racing courses through my veins. They say I'm consumed, that I chase my goals with relentless fire. They say I'm unreasonable, that pushing the limit is my only desire. But I heed to a different call. The roaring of a virtual engine, the whisper of perfect force. Passion isn't a price tag. Passion is felt in every detail. The barrier is broken. The threshold of direct drive realism is here for every driver. Driven by passion, powered by PXN.
Hello everybody and welcome to Bahrain for PXN Legends Series 1 Race 2. I'm joined today again by my wonderful partner in crime, Marcel Wunenberg. Hi Marcel.
Hello, lovely to have you guys here, lovely to have Matteo here, and wonderful weather, I would say, for the race today. And let's see if they keep going on, like how they end the last race in the rain, in close battles, and well, maybe this time on dry tracks, more action.
Absolutely, we got 32 degrees at sunny lunchtime, race 1. Then race 2 will be in the night. So interesting to see how people will adapt to that. Let's also just quickly take a look at some of the information for today. Of course, we are now in race 2. It's been 3 months already for the tournament, and after the 3 qualifiers and the first race in France, we are now at the Bahrain International Circuit. Everybody is already on track. We've got almost a full lineup, 18 races already on track. We know a couple of the others, of course, couldn't make it for particular reasons. I guess a quick shout out to Shotard, because he injured his shoulder and is not able to race today, so get better soon. I know that Diliberto is also unable to race, and Eliseo Gulino had to pull out of the tournament. So here's the rest of the gang ready to get their first laps in.
I mean, you mentioned a nighttime, which is actually interesting on this track. It's a track which got lightings all around it. So there's tracks which you can drive where you've got no lightings around, which are more crazy to master and to handle. But here's a little bit of an advantage there with having at least lights out. So it's still something to cope to. But we'll see how it turns out in race 2 then.
Absolutely. And I mean, we can start seeing here some of the techniques that people are using in terms of trying to secure a fast lap early. Some guys with 30% fuel, like Bauer, Bahrain with 40, a couple of the other guys going with sort of a third of the energy just to get a lighter car, as opposed to some of the others I think that might be getting practice on the first few laps whilst everyone's still bunched up together. And and then using that momentum, I suppose, to get some nice times in towards the end of the 15-minute qualifier.
I mean, yeah, warming up your tires. So it is the strategy. Like whether you just go out, say like I've warmed up the tires, and you feel more comfortable like after maybe 3 rounds with the tires, say they're not used that much yet, and have a little bit more petrol in, or if you just go with like absolute bare minimum, say like, hey, take 1 or 2 shots and it will be fine. Need to go back to the pit. So this is like a bit of a strategy, like people, yeah, which is a bit personal how you like it. If you just go in one shot, like do round after round after round after lap, for the qualification, you just put your one perfect lap in and then go into the pits and try another perfect lap. But yes, as I said, it's a bit of a preference people are having.
Hello, let's just quickly say hello to Marek, Pixel TV, Michelle. Hi everyone, welcome to the chat. Good to have you.
Hello, welcome.
Here
to
we
have
go.
you here.
Also, our initial times are now getting clocked in. Very interesting to see how this all plays out. I mean, let's give a quick roundup of the situation in terms of our races from race 1. We've got Dipolito, who came second in both race 1 and race 2, meaning he's first with 36 points. Looking to sort of stay on top and keep that 10-point gap between first and second as high as he can. We've got Andrea Piazza, also he's in second place. All of his 26 points have come from race 2 of the last race, after not managing to finish in race 1 due to a few issues he had with his vehicle, if I remember correctly. But he got the full 25 points plus the extra point for fastest lap time, so he's at 26 points, looking to catch up on his fellow countrymen. Also on top points, on 26 points at the same as Piazza is Alfano. Alfano is teammates with Fulvio Dipolito, so they're first and second, you could say. Very, very good first race for Alfano last time out, where he got first place and fastest lap. So he's in joint second, really. Then we've got Marco Vella. Marco Vella is at 20 points. Marco Vella performed in both races, so he got 12 points on the first race and 8 on the second. Marco Vella also looking to impress here, and he's also a member of DC Racing as well as Piazza and Dipolito. These guys as well, older in the grand scheme of things. They're clocking in at aged 40s and 30s, so a lot more experience, some real life racing experience as well, combined with a lot of time on the simulator, which you guys can also go on our video section and check out the latest video. We've got a bit of context there with some of our races, which is really good if you want to learn more about them and their experience, because it's very vast. In 5th place we have Diliberto, which unfortunately couldn't race today. He had to take time off. He's at 18 points. Not gonna get anything today, but he's still, in a chance to catch up in the next 2 races. He also scored in both races last time out, 8 and 10 points as well. Leonardo Vare, he's on the track. He's currently 6th. Leonardo Vare failed to get any points in race 1 because of a startup issue with his car, but quickly came from last place in race 2 last time around into the points, scoring a 3rd place finish in that second race under the rain, which puts him at 15 total. Also at 15 is Gianluca Rigatti. Gianluca Rigatti is easy racing today. I'm pretty sure I saw him. Though I cannot find him on my menu right now. But he's definitely easy. He might not be racing either today, it seems. I didn't get a notification from him, but I do not see him on track, so he may not have made it today. So shame for him as well, not to be able to get any more points. And following on, we got our Flying Dutchman, Rowan Den Hood. He was part of a very exciting duel last time around. against Maciek Kasprzyk, which he got the better end of, with scoring a whole 12 points that race into coming into 4th position. He stands at 12 points total, and after him finishing up the top 10 is Dominik Bauer, the Czech driver. He's definitely here today in the Mercedes. Hasn't registered a lap time yet, but we'll keep an eye on that. He's at 10 points, and with him at 10 points is also Kasper Gaisio and Giacomo D'Angelo. So let's take a look at these guys here. Giacomo D'Angelo in the Lamborghini, and we got Kasper Gaisio here in the Mercedes. Kasper Gaisio, who last time out unfortunately lost quite a few points in race 1 because of, I guess, an unlikely strategy in terms of fuel consumption, which saw him having to lap twice, so one more time than a lot of the other races. So he was in 3rd position that time around and had to give that up. But we've got a ton of other races as well who are also in the points. I think of Top Bromo, for example. He got 2 points out last time. We've got Daniel Gottschalk also on 2 points, 1 point per race. And a lot of skill here. And there's a few guys, obviously, who had issues last time with their cars as well. I mean, Komasa didn't race last time around, if I am not mistaken. Yeah, I have him here as not racing. So we got to see what else these guys bring to the table as well. The tournament, I think, Marcel, is fully open.
Yeah. I just like looking at the times, like they're crawling slowly towards the 159. I don't know what GT3 cars can drive on this track. I must admit, I've never really driven Bahrain virtually so far, because it's more Formula 1 track. I'm not a Formula 1 fan. I only know that track from MotoGP actually, where it's like a super interesting track, but I mean, you can't compare the lap times there. So I'm kind of interesting, or like more, seeing like what's going to happen here, like how they can tackle the times, if they get even lower than below 159 or not. But we'll see that definitely over the course of the day.
Absolutely, and the top 8 here are all within a minute of each other. I mean, a second of each other rather. A minute would be interesting. A second of each other here, so a lot to see here how things shape up. Most guys are within that bracket, and now we can see also Angel Infante. He also had to miss out on race 1 due to personal reasons, but it's great to see another new racer hailing out of Mexico on the track, making this tournament really a global tournament, as we've got races from 3 different continents all online trying to get their prize, which, should I remind you, are yet to be released PXN Vector X pedals as a first place, and then the second is GT wheel, and the third will have a beautiful handbrake as well. So good luck to everybody. But talking about tracks and talking about Bahrain specifically, whilst we have a couple of minutes still in qualifying, why don't we go and take a look at the track guide courtesy of Ryan Grubb. So let's move to that for a moment and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to round 2 of the PXN Legends Cup finale, and we're here at Bahrain in Sakir for a magnificent 15 corners led on by Daniel Gottschalk, heading into turn 1, brake as the curb starts, first gear and cut turn 1 a bit. Make sure you don't invalidate and make sure you get the throttle down as early as possible to maximize your speed through turn 2 and 3 as we then head down the next straight heading towards turn 4. Gonna stay in 5th gear, brake at 100 meter board, down to 2nd gear, again use the inside curb and then use all of the track available on the exit to maximize your minimum speed once again. As we head into the sweepers of turn 5, 6 and 7, 3rd gear, use the track as much as possible on entry, apex and exit. Bring the car back to the left, quickly brake down to 1st gear in a straight line and get the power down. Don't use the exit curve as it is quite bumpy. As we then head up the gears and into a very tricky turn 9 and 10, kind of a double apex, so you go tight, then a wide, and then back tight for turn 10, 1st gear, and then get the exit, get the clean traction out of that corner as we've got another mini straight heading into a medium to high speed turn 11, 5th gear, brake at the black box on the right, 3rd gear, use a bit of the inside curb, bit hesitant on the throttle there, but we eventually get it down, bring the car back to the left to open up the sweeper of turn 12. As we head through here in 4th gear, again, make sure you don't run off the track, brake in a straight line for turn 13, 2nd gear, cut the inside curb, use all of the track up to the white line on the exit, and now we have 2 more corners to go, although only 1 more braking zone. The last real corner, 5th gear on entry, braking at 100 meters, down to 2nd gear, cut across the curb, and then all the way up to the white line on the exit. And that is your hot lap and track guide of the Bahrain Grand Prix ahead of tonight's race, so I hope you enjoy it.
Alright, welcome back guys. Thank you to Ryan and Daniel for the wonderful track guide as always. As we're seeing here, things are shaping up a little different now with Top Promo. Oh, something happened behind him with the wheels popping up, but he's in a solid 2nd place. I don't know what happened behind him. But it's all looking quite tight at the top. I mean, Vade has a solid half a second lead, so we're talking good numbers here. And as I say, Leonardo was punished quite unfortunately due to his car not starting on race 1 of day 1. He could have been in higher points, and of course we had a bit of controversy here in the tournament given that startup issue that some of the races had. That has since been resolved, so we shouldn't see any more random stuff. I hope, in terms of server crashes and things. But,
hopefully no hiccups.
Yeah, but you know, we're here to learn, and I hope that I mean, we've received a lot of nice feedback as well from the races in terms of their experience, them enjoying the experience, and thinking that, I mean, overall the structure is coming together. So really appreciate all of those comments from everyone. And the Game Guru TV, hello. It's a shame that you didn't get to qualify. I didn't have the time to even race to qualify, but you know, the goal here is to make this a wonderful and long-lasting series. This is only the first of what we hope will be many more. We are doing our best to learn, and we're very thankful that PXN is interested in, you know, really investing into the sport, showcasing talent from all over the place, and putting some prizes up for grabs. So thank you very much for PXN for hosting the tournament and for giving us this opportunity.
So yeah, qualifying is coming to an end. It's going to get interesting now. If they're gonna keep up the pace from the last race, we see some wheel-to-wheel battles. I'm a little bit hyped.
Oh, there was plenty of those last time around, right? I mean, even in the rain, when we thought that drivers might be taking things a bit more cautiously, it turned out that it was the most exciting race thus far. Really, battles under the rain was incredible. So here we go. Now we're going to take a minute or two to adjust and get into the formation lap, hoping that nobody gets kicked out this time around. We did our homework. I've clicked all the right buttons, so fingers crossed.
Fingers are crossed.
And I should also say thanks to Lorenzo, who's also here, our chief engineer.
Hello guys.
Thank you for your invaluable support in showcasing some of the replays and things. So now we are waiting for things. Here we go. Here we go. Race start. Hopefully everyone comes out willy-nilly friendly. We've got, I think, 18 guys on the track, so plenty of action is being prescribed here. Interesting that the two Lamborghinis are first and second. Here we go, slowly coming out and setting up.
And just to give a mention, like Daniel Bauer on the 5th place, so the GOAT is slowly going to his GOAT position. And yeah, I know we've got Marek like rooting for him, and if I recall it right, he was also doing good like in the rain race, but I think he slid out a little bit and lost a few positions in the end, if
Oh.
I recall it right.
It was that battle with Den Hood that.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah. It made him lose parts of his car by the end of it. There had to be somebody sacrificed to this.
It's Dominic, though.
crazy race.
Excuse me very much. I am. Why was I going with Daniel? Daniel Gottschalk. That's possibly because both with D.
Oh yeah, but Bauer did lose out on one of the two races, but he really performed in the first of the two. And we've got a few seconds here until we're ready to go. I think Rowan is still in the pits. Hopefully he gets to come out. And I think it's a great time to also introduce our guest commentator for today. So I just wanted to welcome Ryan Grubb. Hi, Ryan.
Hello. Hope everyone can hear me well and the audio quality is okay.
It's perfect.
Great.
Happy to be here finally and excited to get this underway.
Yes, lovely to have you, and thank you so much for all your help so far with the track, guys. They've been amazing.
We've somebody wrote in chat that the game crashed. Oh man.
Yeah, it might be Rowan. That is a rough time to crash. Hopefully he can come back, and I mean, I doubt you'll be able to get back into formation at this point, but at least on track as soon as possible. As in terms of Le Mans, I mean, the track in France was so long for the formation time that somebody crashed last time and managed to rejoin just in time, but I think this might be a little different in this case. Green flag, we got our green flag. Let's go.
Let's go.
Right, there's people spread out.
What's going to happen?
One.
Oh yeah. You can see some nice side-by-sides there, and it's like they're not driving as cautious as they did in the first race. So seems like people got more comfy in their race seats now.
There we go. You can see the movements here.
Yeah.
Leonardo Valle is breaking away very slightly with 0.3 of a second. And well, him and Alfano really are a second ahead of the rest of the group. But let's take a look what is happening here.
Oh yeah, some nice side-by-sides there still. People having connection problems. Like I can see people like.
Oh, that is.
I think Vare as well out of turn 2. He disappeared on our screen.
Yeah, absolutely.
I believe that is totally an LMU thing, because that happens quite a lot. But they're still on track, but visually as spectators, we kind of lose their positioning. But we should be okay.
Fingers still crossed it all works out.
As a spectator, it's fine if we can't see it, but if one car on track can't see another, then that's really...
Yeah, it's definitely when you want to go for an attack, being like super close behind them, it vanishes for maybe half a second, and you don't know where it's going, and yeah, that's always like a little bit of a Cole Brown moment, yeah?
Yeah. I think Jardia even posted that in an endurance race where a car that he then took out didn't even exist on his screen. So
yeah, absolutely.
That's the worry.
It is not pleasant when it happens.
But then there's nothing you can do when no one's at fault. So
no.
Really
that's absolutely up to the hardware / connection gods. We've got a question from WZ Plays. What wheels are your drivers if they are racing equipped with? So wheels wise, first of all, we use as a wheelbase the VD10, and wheel-wise, it is more of a personal choice. So most of us use the Club Sport wheel. Me myself, I'm using so far from Esselit GT wheel until from PXN the old GT wheels comes out, and yeah, that's pretty much what the team is equipped with. And question from Felix: where's Dominic Bauer?
Dominic Bauer is sitting solidly in fifth.
Fifth place. I think he also started from the 5th place. So
yes, yeah.
No improvement. No, not losing any place so far. Looking good.
Yeah, and everyone is still kind of tightly bunched up together. Infante may have had some kind of issue here because he's lost quite a few seconds. Unfortunately, Rowan did not was not able to rejoin, so that's a big shame. Sorry to hear that, but there's always race 2, so please come back, swing in for the night race. Make sure that your system is all set up and ready to battle. But about a second per racer here in terms of first, second, third. I mean, it's almost perfect at this stage, a second apart for each one of these guys in the top. No major shockers just yet. We got a little battle here maybe as well in terms of the points. A big old train here for those 9th and 10th positions. So Piazza is kind of holding the whole train up at the moment. Curious to see how that shapes up as well. We've got some battles here as well for 5th with Dominic 2 seconds behind 4th position. He's holding 5th, but he's got Top Bromo and Marco Vella right behind him. We got Perrin as well at last. Perrin, as we say, he didn't manage to qualify in terms of timings. He was repicked, so he's really happy to be here at the moment and trying to improve his timings and just race with, I suppose, higher caliber, more experienced races is also nice for him. Ooh, we had an accident. We've had an accident. Tarnowski has lost control of his car. Perhaps there was a collision with Borini. It's something that our chief engineer is going to pull up and let us know when we can go and take a look at that.
Yeah, what you said was Perrin. I mean, it can be a bit discouraging when you're driving in the back, but you can definitely learn a lot of stuff and get a lot of takeaways and get better in your own personal racecraft if you drive with higher class drivers. Don't get discouraged and try to adapt and learn from them.
Absolutely. I think that's what he was saying on Discord over the last few weeks, that he's like so happy to be able to match his experience with these other guys and seeing how they move and how they cut the corners and how they kind of their positioning on the track. And you know, the fact that you might not qualify for race 1, but I mean, you might crash or have a problem, but then you come back race 2. And a big example of that is Andrea Perrin, because Perrin, he had a really rough race 1 last time around, and then come and won race 2, so really shook that off. And that's important to be able to experience as these guys continue to battle here. We got an okay on the replay, it seems, so whilst we have a moment to shift over, let's go and look at that replay. Okay, so it was really bumper to bumper there between 3 guys. Let's take a look at that one more time. So we've got, so he gets bumped, and then yeah, I mean, it's just one of those multiple kind of, maybe somebody broke a little early. We'll have to analyze that a bit better when we have the opportunity to do so.
I mean, yeah, have a look into that, but yeah, it was nothing really intentional, a bit of a race incident, but it's hard to judge it while being here in a commentator booth, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's go on board with our friend Daniel Gottschalk. He's currently in 11th position, so again, looking for those points just behind Soprich for half a second, and behind him we've got Giacomo D'Angelo as well, looking for his first few points.
I'm not quite sure how aggressive the battles were in the last race, but at least the one there between the Lamborghini and the Porsche before we went to the replay looked pretty clean, but I'm sure towards the end of the race it'll be a bit more aggressive, bit less space, so I guess we'll see if there's any more collisions, because I think that turn 1 collision was more unlucky rather than really hard fighting.
Yeah.
But so far it looks pretty clean.
I agree.
Surprisingly clean. Well, not what I'm used to my races. So.
Oh yeah.
I think myself.
I mean, so far, yeah. It's. I mean, in the beginning, when they were like nicely side by side in the first turns, it was kind of like, okay, this looks promising again. But so far, it's a bit, like race 1 in Le Mans, where it's like everybody's just driving behind each other and just waiting for somebody to make a mistake, really. Race 2 in Le Mans was completely different, where we thought, okay, it's raining and people will keep it more cautious. It's kind of like when they pulled out their knives, their guns, and went in all blazing, kinda.
Here we go again.
Yeah. Oh,
Nice
see,
overtake
so
there.
they get
Lovely,
more brave. I think
lovely.
they always need
Exit.
to warm. They need to warm up a little bit more.
Good exit for the Lambo though.
Beautiful
Yeah, I think in the
Bahrain.
first race people just played safe, even in the
Yeah.
first stint. But then the second stint they'll be a bit more aggressive, and then if they feel like they lost out in the first race, then they'll go all out in the second race. As we have pretty nice side by side here.
Yeah.
Keeping it.
Hey, yeah, you get more
Hard to
confident also then.
Yeah, that's true. Especially with the tires as well, you don't want to over push, because I know once you get a lockup, you'll feel that as well through the wheels. So if you get a lockup early on, that's really not what you want. I don't know if they actually change the tires during the pit stop. I know they have to refuel, but maybe it's faster to not change the tires. So if you get a lockup early on by maybe trying a dive bomb or something, that could be pretty painful for the rest of the race.
That battle is not over yet, I would say,
They're really
between
carrying
Promo and Janowski. So yes, this
turn
is
11.
Nice.
Pretty close. Clean fighting, but they are
Clean
losing quite a
fighting,
bit of
yeah.
time to the cars on the 4-second gap already.
That's
It's very
true,
nice
yeah.
for us to watch though.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if it goes on, maybe
Oh,
the ones behind will
another
catch
dive.
up more.
It looks like Battle is getting ready just
I mean-
behind them as well.
At what point do you just stick behind and not dive bomb, or like have a half a look into every corner, because it does just lose you time.
Yeah, that's
So
the
that's
point. It's
not-
getting more interesting. It's like the
Going
whole
too much,
pack.
yeah. Now
The
it's
whole
4.5
pack was
seconds. They got
not
ahead.
the whole pack with Piazza is catching up slowly, and they just say, "Hey, there's a buffet there in front. We want to also go and take part in that feast."
Well, the gap is now 4.6 ahead, so let's see the fight goes on. It's pretty late by the Porsche. Gonna be a good exit for the Lambo here. Should maybe get ahead. Although GT3, of course, no DRS and a lot weaker slipstream, so it's a bit different. But maybe another dive. Not really, but still, these defensive lines just slow them up so much.
Yeah, and that's what he
Covering up
said.
the
Like
switch
in
back there beautifully as well. So it's looks like no one wants to really give up the position, but I feel like they're losing too much time so early on in the race.
absolutely, and that's what you said. In front, it's like 4.5 seconds, but behind is only like 1 seconds with the whole pack coming up, and they are really hungry there behind them.
So Janowski, the racer who got bumped off and hurt his car a little bit. Before we go to that, Piazza and Sopra here battling as well. Oh, a little bump there at the back. Let's see how this plays out before we go any further. As he
I
attacks
think
from
he
the
flashed
outside.
his lights there to know him not to get past, because he could probably be reported. I'm not sure though. Yeah. It's always difficult. If you bump someone heading onto a straight, you kind of can't really get past because you risk yourself being reported. So, a bit more contact.
Oh, and Giacomo D'Angelo and Daniel Goshak just there at the back as well, managing to hold on while Piazza loses his
Somehow.
position.
It's definitely a
And
nice
look at
switch
the
there.
exit, and that was... So Piazza did all the work to basically close up to the train ahead, and now they started fighting and they lost everything
Yeah.
again. Now they're 2 wide into the last corner. Racing room being given, but this is gonna go on to turn 1. Angelo with a pretty good slipstream. Equal braking. 2 turn 1 side by side. Daniel's gonna go for the better exit. It looks like he actually gets that switch back very nicely. As the cars ahead, the Porsche and the Lambo still fighting. Gonna be 3 wide into turn 4. Let's see if they're gonna keep the 3 wide.
Is that possible? 3 wide?
One of the... Okay, that was pretty clean. Oh, look at the Mercedes. Double
Ooh,
switch back.
Kamasa.
Almost.
Ooh.
Now they're gonna go side by side through turn 6. I don't think that's gonna work. They managed to figure it out and somehow get through. clean fighting all around though. I'm pretty surprised. So I mean, it's good to see.
Absolute,
60th
absolute
there
good
for
action
Daniel.
back there.
Can't
Now
keep our
again,
eyes
side by
off this.
side into turn 10. That would be pretty difficult. Pushed off track there. Well, I guess wasn't fully alongside. The Mercedes of
Oh, Piazza loses. This- How did the battle between Bromo and Janowski? That is still kind of going there.
still going, but the gap in front is even bigger now, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not really working in their favor. It's also interesting. Bromo has a bit more virtual energy. Don't know if that'll have how much of an impact that will have, but I guess if he has to refuel longer, well, not as long, maybe you can get him in the pit lane, just on pure stopping time. So that could be beneficial. Maybe he's decided to not waste more time fighting and just save fuel to then stand for less time in the pit lane. That could be interesting. But I think the battle here keeps going. The battles won't stop. P1 is
There we
quite
go.
far away,
P1
but
is.
then the rest is pretty close. So let's see, side by side with the Lambos into turn 1. Who's gonna get the better exit? Looks like Piazza should be able to hang on to that, and I think they'll do so for the time being.
Might just take a second here if we're allowed to leave the action for just a second, perhaps, to take a look at what happened to Janowski. Tarnowski, actually. Janowski's still on track. And we're gonna do that now. Let's see what happened to Tarnowski. After this turn here, as Gazio almost takes the Jackal seat. Okay, let's go. Replay. Okay, so I think that's probably frustration more than anything. Maybe an issue with the car from the previous accident. Loses control of the car and ultimately goes to the pits but did not finish. So unfortunately there for Tarnowski. But let's get right back to it because it doesn't stop here in the middle of the pack.
So I believe Gazior has pushed Angelo wide at turn 10 with a bump and then just overtook him. So curious if that's going to appear in the stewards room later today, because that was a pretty obvious push to pass in my opinion. But let's see, maybe Angelo's able to fight back on this next lap.
Let's see if we can maybe bring that up as well. Casper Gazio taking over Giacomo D'Angelo. Let's see if we can find the replay and take a look together as well here. Let's go ahead with Leonardo Ares. See, sometimes when the car kind of shakes out of position, I guess it's probably a spectator thing more than anything else, but Vare comfortably ahead, 4 seconds in front of Alfano. Go ahead, right.
I think we're starting to see a bit of saving, especially by Bromo here, that he's really decided not to fight and save that battery or the fuel, because he can, I mean, 36%, 5 or 6 more percent than all others. So maybe like 1 or 2 seconds less of stopping, which will pretty much guarantee the overtake on Janowski. So interesting to see quite early on. I mean, just over 50 minutes into the race. So maybe that has a bit more of an impact as well, rather than just pure pushing and overtaking on track.
And I mean, we saw the energy saving really play out last race, with some of the guys really pushing for the battle that they were in, and I guess kind of honing in and focusing on that specific moment of the race rather than thinking in the broader terms of things. With Oscar Soprich there losing, I think, 12 positions for having been forced to pit too early, and one more time than his competitors. So obviously, top promo here, perhaps, as you said, Ryan, making the sane decision to ease out a bit, and he's got one of the best energy leftovers at the moment.
Well, it's a really difficult thing to manage because if you know you're faster than the car ahead and like he is now 2 tenths behind, it's like as a racer, your natural instinct is to get past. So then you
Absolutely.
start braking a bit late, you're going throttle a bit earlier, so it's like 0.1% more usage here, 0.1% more usage there, and then over a lap or several laps, that starts adding up. So it's just controlling yourself and basically forcing yourself to slow down, which is very difficult to do when you're trying to get ahead and win a race. But it's working out well so far if he doesn't refuel too much in the second stint. So it looks like he's gonna get a pretty good exit here. I don't know if it's gonna be enough for turn 4, but he might have a little look. I mean, this battle has been going on for several laps.
We've
Got
got here
further
as well.
battling behind as well. That's Angelo got actually back past Gazior there, and now he's leading the 2 Mercedes cars again. But yeah, as I said, it's very, very difficult to purposely, well, kind of purposely slow down in a race. So I hope it'll pay off, and it's not just going a bit slower without then actually having a gain, because I'm always a big fan of strategic or, well, tactical masterclasses in racing rather than just brute forcing your way through.
And looks like we also had Daniel must have had an issue at some point because he is now in the pits with a DNF. So perhaps we will prioritize that replay. See what happened there. And these are the two, Gazer and Komasa, the two Polish teammates from GLS. All looking for those points.
So Daniel has messaged me saying he's been tapped round into spin, I believe, again, as he did at Le Mans. First corner of sector 2, so I think that's turn 6.
I will try and take a look at that as soon as possible. And maybe another one for the referee books after the race.
We talked about going side by side there, would be pretty risky, and all of the battles we looked at, no one dared to go side by side, but I guess someone did, and it didn't work out, so let's see if someone can make it side by side through there.
Alright, let's go and take a look at that replay as Casper there overshoots the traffic quite a bit and loses a couple positions. After this bumper to bumper with Matteo Borini, we will go and take a look at that replay. Matteo attacking, Tommaso and Angelo there bumping again. Are we safe to go and look at the replay? Let's go and look at the replay quick. We're live with it. So there's a bump there, tire to tire. Goshar gets the worst of it, re-enters the track there. Keeps going. Let's take a look at what happens here after that. So it's a bit of a... Goes for the inside. Overtakes Casper Gazer. Gazer probably doesn't hit into the back there. Oh, yes, he loses control of his car, it looks like a bit there, and bumps Daniel out. Let's take a look at that one more time. Obviously, we're going to review this properly later as well, but let's have that a little further back. So that, yeah. Let's take a look at that. Because he almost looks like he... Wow, yeah, that's going to be an interesting one to referee. I don't know what you guys think from first looks.
hard to judge, but I mean, Gazior is nowhere near fully alongside, so maybe it would have been smarter to just back out.
Absolutely.
Seems like a
Yeah.
bit of a
Yeah.
like a really unnecessary incident, because there's no point or chance for Gazior to go around the outside there. But I guess the stewards will decide.
Absolutely, yes. Tough job of the steward. Right, and this battles here for the points really continue to go. Yeah, it's a shame to see Daniel go out like that twice now. And do we have any more? Oh, no, we got no more casualties thus far. Perrin obviously is a little behind the others. Infante just above him. He's the first race that he's partaking in for this tournament. Still holding on to that 15th position. But in the points, it's still to be played for this last kind of 7th to, I'll say 8th to 10th position. Those points are still very much up for grabs.
Once we've got the first guys in the pit lane, let's see to how much percent they recharge, and then if Romo goes a lap longer, I mean, he should go at least a lap longer. 7% advantage over Janowski, so
he's
I'm
deciding
pretty
to
sure
go.
that is the 1 lap advantage.
And will that energy be enough, do we think, for a whole lap? 7%?
I think it should be. They've done 25 minutes of running already.
True.
Should be pretty good. Angelo going 1 more as well. He had the same percentage across the line, and then everyone else into the pit lane. And we could see Vare recharges to 86%. Some guys, I think, even higher. I saw below for a quick second there. Now in the Lambo as well. So that means Bromo will probably recharge maybe till 80 to be safe. Maybe 78, something like that. So I think that it should save him a second or something like that, which could guarantee him the overtake on the Porsche. So let's see if that will pay off. If not, then I guess we'll have a nice brawl to the end of the race in the final quarter of an hour.
Absolutely. Alright, as everyone looks like they've neatly come out of the pits one by one. Let's take a look at the last guys here. Loading up all the way, some of them to 95 and 96%. So, fully loaded for the rest of the last 90 minutes or so. Perhaps a little bit too much, Ryan, in terms of going up to 90-95.
Well, potentially it's close with doing an extra lap. So maybe the leader in the front knows exactly. I mean, Vale has a bit of a margin, so he can maybe slow down 2 or 3 seconds to make sure he doesn't do an extra lap. But the cars back here probably didn't have a bit of conflict there. Cars here probably didn't have enough time to really look at the gap, so maybe they just went safe. Because if he's like 5 or 10 seconds away from an extra lap, then you'd rather be safe instead of pitting again and losing 12 positions, as you had mentioned in the past race. And we've got, that's a big dive. As the Mercedes nearly take each other out. Piazza with a nice dummy there, as they're now going to be side by side in turn 10. This can't really go that well. I think Piazza will have to back out, and he does indeed. Goes off track as well. But this is pretty good racing, and this is exciting to watch. As there we go, Angelo and Bromo into the pit lane.
Into the pits, and they've got 20 seconds here.
Let's see. I don't think that's... What is Bromo doing? I hope that's a bug.
Me too.
Or no, maybe he's got no energy. Maybe he's got too little energy. That could be. I'm not sure.
That could be brutal if that's the case here, because D'Angelo
I think that is. D'Angelo didn't, so I think...
No
Not
way.
sure. Maybe he had to lift in the last sector or something. Maybe he just about ran out, so I guess the strategy wouldn't work after all. D'Angelo's already going. And I think he's done. I think Bromo's done.
Bromo is done with
no
more energy to get to his position. That is brutal.
That is very brutal indeed, but that's pretty good for D'Angelo. Yeah, he only refuels to 74%, so he does save, what was it, 11% on Vale. And let's see where he rejoins. Just behind. That's pretty, I think. Yeah, just behind Janowski. I think he gained a lot from that.
That's solid from D'Angelo. Yeah,
he was further back there with the Mercedes that are now through turn 3. Yeah, he was back there with the 2 Mercedes and the Lambo, so he gained 3 seconds with that overcut. So if we now think what that could have meant for Bromo, then would have been
Absolutely.
far in front of the Porsche with no issues, almost on the back of P6 actually. So
And unfortunately,
very
Roma
unfortunate. Probably a few
officially,
hundred feet away from his pit stop.
and that is an official DNF now confirmed for Bromo. What a shame there, but that's part of the game, right? It's part of the tactics that you decide to apply.
Yeah.
The other guys then back at it. Kasperis has gained a couple positions as well. He's now in 5th. And there's, I suppose, a couple blocks forming here between, well, first and seconds. There's a 4-second difference. And a battle here might be happening depending on how these guys in 4th and 5th play it out. Closest gap between these two. And again, for the points, things have kind of spread out a lot more. Those initial trains have kind of dissipated at the moment. So let's see.
The pit stops kind of spread out the field a bit. But then Bromo probably had one lap too much fighting where he lost like half a percentage more fuel would have made it. And then we had D'Angelo, who was just sitting in the train for the first few laps, and I mean that must have made a difference, not being able to push flat out. So I mean the margins are pretty fine, and it's gone very well for D'Angelo. He's now pretty clear in front and has chance for what is it? P7, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely.
But then the issue is his percentage is pretty low, so we'll see. Maybe he has to now save and can actually go for an attack. But I mean, I guess his main goal was to get away from the other Lambo and the 2 Mercedes cars, which was very successful. So I guess if he can stay here, I think he will be pretty happy.
And let's take a look at him again. He's that is the closest gap here so far. And I guess, I mean, with the 13% less energy, as you said, pushing too much might result in a tough couple of last minutes for him, depending on how his energy plays out. But he does have the lighter car against Janoski, right? So we can expect, I suppose, that gap to thin out if both are pushing it to their max. Interesting to see if this develops into a battle where it was 1.6 seconds, it's now 1.1. So the gap is closing a little bit.
Well, I think this will actually be pretty tight because he's got less percentage than the leader and is half a minute behind him. So feel like this will be very uncomfortable for the last 2 or 3 laps. That he'll eventually, I mean, he'll probably try and get close to the Porsche now, but then probably a bit of a mistake there. The last 5 minutes, I mean, I think it'll be pretty close because you don't want to have less percentage in the leader and be half a minute behind him. So especially with Bahrain being so much on full throttle, you can't really save that much battery compared to other tracks. So I think this will actually be pretty close. Our estimation, I mean, he did gain a lot, but if he has to save, he'll quickly lose time again. And of course, on the last 2 laps, you lose as much time as you need to get to the finish line. So I think this could be an interesting one towards the end, as he's now exactly 30 seconds behind the leader. And yeah, a bit unfortunate that the pit stops really stretched out the field this much.
Yeah.
Not much going on. I think P4 and P5 are close.
They're within that 1 second, 1.5 seconds. And I'll take this moment then to, let's see, read some of the comments here. Saying hello to Quadriga, Lorenzo, and as well Serpvor. PXN Vector X, when is the release? So the pedals are in a very late prototype stage. We can't reveal much more, but I suppose some news will come out towards the next few months. So maybe keep an eye out in Q2 for official announcements or further information on that. It's all still to be revealed, and that is the same discussion with the GT wheel as well, which is PXN's first GT wheel. Yeah, more updates on that hopefully in April. And I think we have a couple of minutes perhaps here as well to show you to go to ads. So we might come back and see a little bit more action soon again. But yes, we're gonna go to ads for a couple of minutes, and we'll be right back for the last 10 minutes or so of the race. So see you soon.
They say I'm obsessed, that sim racing courses through my veins. They say I'm consumed, that I chase my goals with relentless fire. They say I'm unreasonable, that pushing the limit is my only desire. But I heed to a different call. The roaring of a virtual engine, the whisper of perfect force. Passion isn't a price tag. Passion is felt in every detail. The barrier is broken. The threshold of direct drive realism is here for every driver. Driven by passion, powered by PXN. New gen direct drive is now. Discover the PXN VD series.
Alright, and we are back for the last 7 minutes of the race. Marco Vella, actually, he was... We're back, yes, we're back for the last 7 minutes. Marco Vella and Kasparis, they were battling it out there, but Vella seems to be catching up a little bit more to Ippolito there, third now. 2 seconds is the difference between the two teammates. Everything else is quite spread out. Infante, which is on the only BMW that is still on the track, in 12th position, gaining pretty much 2 positions there. But we've lost Casper Gaisio at some point during the race. So we're going to pull out the replay for that in the coming minute or two. And Piazza also. So there you go. You blink and things happen. So let's take a look. Is that a collision between the two? Is that 2 different problems? We're gonna find that out. But pretty much 13 races left, of which 10 are gonna be in the points. I mean, it looks a little tough for Borini or Infante to actually get Oscar Soprich, who's 4.4 seconds ahead, with similar fuel retention there. 5 minutes left on the clock as well. So I think the most important thing is to discover just what happened between those guys who are now in DNF. Probably a battle. Yes, we'll pull that up. Let's go and take a look at that right away then. Moving on to the replay. And here we go. So, tire to tire, nobody's sort of giving up the position, and then Piazza pushes Gaisio off the track there. Whether that is willingly or not, I mean, we're going to have to review that a little longer. But then Piazza is probably punished for that then by the refereeing system. Yeah. The automatic steward system then gives him that DNF, it seems. Because it's, you see, it's a red DNF, so it's given by the system itself. So let's take a look at that one more time. Chief Engineer. We're going to go back to the official race and then let's take a look at that again once that is ready. But probably the first case of stewarding from the game itself here. Let's look at that. Go on. Yep. There you go. That is perhaps too aggressive of a push. So yeah. Well, there you go. We thought there wouldn't be drama. It is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 victims of this race for one matter or the other.
It's gonna be exciting
So-
for the 9th one.
So D'Angelo, I think, noticed he's now got more battery than, or fuel than Vare. So I think, and he's dropped back a bit. So I think he noticed he has to save a bit, get to the finish line. Promo, I think, at 7 or 8% starting the last lap. And at this rate, I think Angelo still has, I hope, only 2 to go and not 3. I think then it'll be okay. But besides that, I mean, it's pretty close on fuel. Bauer, for example, you can fully push. Everyone with 30% or more should be more than fine. But 16% P2, that's going to be pretty tight. Does have a bit of margin to Dipolito behind, but still. Fine margins. I mean, if you run out of fuel at the end of the race and like exit last corner, no fuel to get to the line, that's probably the worst, most painful ending you can have after basically driving yourself to P2. So let's hope that doesn't happen. Looks okay though, 15% at the in sector 2 should be fine. Vare as well should have this win in the bag. I don't really want to jinx it, but a 6-second gap and more battery shouldn't really be an issue considering what he's shown so far today. No real, well, wasn't even up for debate pretty much. Led from start to finish.
Absolutely.
No battles, no mistakes that we've seen at least, and a pretty consistent gap, so clean pit stop as well. So let's hope he doesn't run into any misfortune in these last 2 minutes. Just going to be one more lap, so I think everyone in the field should make it, including Alfano, sorry. Calculated that fuel pretty well. I think he'll have like 9% starting the last lap, which should be more than enough. So it looks like no one running out of fuel at the end of the race, which is at least good to see. And I think, yeah, there's no real side-by-sides going on. Maybe 8th and 9th place, but I think they're also rather far apart.
Yeah, about a second and a half between the guys here for 9th and 10th position. Sorry, 8th and 9th position. And a similar
So maybe-
story.
Now let's see. I think D'Angelo can push now, though. He should have enough battery for this final lap. It's only one more that's confirmed now. So I think, unfortunately, we won't really get any more side-by-side action. But we got a lot of that in the first stint, which is kind of what we predicted would not happen. In the first 5 minutes, we said everyone's playing it safe, and then second stint would be aggressive. But unfortunately, quite a few cars have DNF'd or dropped out the race. So there's a lot less cars on track at the moment. Yeah, Alfano
Alfano with that
will definitely get through.
7% energy. Yeah, he's got enough, hopefully, to...
And he's got some margin. He might lift a bit on the last 2 or 3 corners, but he should have enough margin. And then, I mean, everyone from P5 probably made a mistake. Maybe not a mistake, but maybe P9 could have fueled 1 lap less or something to get closer. I don't know. The gaps seem pretty big, so no one could have really gained any positions by refueling less. Which is a bit unfortunate because that kind of makes them think maybe try something else in the next race. But yeah, we'll see. I'm sure Vare will definitely just copy paste ideally, not change a single thing for race 2 tonight. Pretty much perfect execution, penultimate corner. No real mistakes, a bit wide there, a bit of a wiggle, but he'll easily make it on battery. Very dominant performance from him. And we have Alfano in the background, 3% onto the penultimate straight. That will be more than enough.
Absolutely.
So he should solidify second place.
Here we go. Leonardo Vare making it there. Ooh. And he's got first position. Vare, who actually qualified in first at Fuji. That's how he got his space in the tournament. Showing what he can do. And Alfano, a comfortable second position there with Ippolito right back there in third. And Marco Vella, his teammate, just a second, 0.4 behind. As now the Polish driver Kasprix gets fifth. Dominic Bauer, consistent performance, held fifth for most of the race, finishes in sixth. And Janowski there, and seventh. D'Angelo gets his 8th position, so very smart play with the fuel consumption from D'Angelo, who secures the points. And Soprik, the last with solid point there, secured by Oscar as well. Matteo Borini 5 seconds behind. Performance-wise, a lot of improvement from Borini compared to race 1. He gets 11th position, and Infante wraps up with 12th. So that is all for now. Of course, these standings are preliminary, as we're going to have to review quite a bit of refereeing disputes this time around. We're going to bring it back to the ads, and then that's about a 20-minute break until race 2 starts later on at 6 p.m. Central European time. So let's see who else is here. Shout out to Rodriguez again. Yeah, dirty racing. Well, it was very clean for most of it, but obviously a couple of accidents there, as it's normal to do, and experience. So for now, we're gonna thank you, Ryan. Thank you so much for bringing your expertise to the table. Super appreciate it.
Thank you.
And yeah, see you guys in 20 odd minutes.